This video today, I'm going to look at a couple of different adhesives. Now, I've been building these arrows using a fletching vane, and its material is unique. It's very slick, very thin. I think it's very lightweight for the size they might have. This is 4.18 inches long. It's a hunting vane, drives the broadhead very well. But they have one issue. They tend to be a little bit more difficult to adhere to a shaft. They have a small surface area for a foot, which makes them actually line up for a helix very well. The issue is, this material being so slick, it can be a little bit more difficult to adhere to the shaft. The adhesives they recommend, the manufacturer, are cyanoacrylates. And a lot of cyanoacrylates tend to ghost or frost, whatever you might want to call it. And so I've not been a big fan of that adhesive. When I build these, and I've been shooting them in the backyard and getting ready for season, it's not yet season here in Tennessee, I'm not knocking off using some very old Saunders glue. And I'm sure it's out of date from the manufacturer's recommendation, but they stick very well if I prep them with a good solvent, and I use pure grain alcohol that you can buy at any liquor store. So I started thinking, well, why don't we see if we can find us a cyanoacrylate that we like. And that's kind of what today's video is all about. Now here are two arrows that were recently made up using cyanoacrylate based adhesives. The one on the bottom is better than any other cyanoacrylate I've used in the past, but you see we have a little bit of the frosting or the ghosting, whatever you want to call it. See at the base of the blue, that little bit of white right there? And some people may not like that. This is really not all that bad, but I was hoping to find something a little bit better. And this is certainly better than anything I've used in the past. Now this particular one is a different cyanoacrylate put out by the same individual. It's a little different formulation, and you see not nearly the frosting, and it also adheres very well. So what we're going to look at is see if we can figure out why these things are not all the same, and will they perform the way we want. Like I said, so far I haven't taken the Saunders based adhesions to the field, but in the back I have been slinging them and I've not had any trouble. But let's see if we can't maybe improve on what we have and go from there. Now, starting right, going left, we have this product. Now this is a boning product, Fletch-Tite Platinum. It dispenses well, but I have had trouble with its keeping veins on shafts. So I'm not really having much luck with it. Now what I've had most luck with in a conventional adhesive is the Saunders. And I've not tested it clearly. I've not tested every glue there ever was, but I've had pretty good luck with the Saunders. And this stuff right here, this particular tube, has got some age on it, and yet it still continues to perform. Now, in my investigation, I'm looking at these cyanoacrylates here. Now, I was calling around talking to various manufacturers, importers of their products, and I'm down to these right here. And I got a hold out in California to a gentleman named Bob Smith. These happen to be his products, and I kind of discussed what I wanted to do, what I needed him to do, and the problem of the ghosting or frosting. And one of the things he suggested, he said, well, you might want to try the Super Gold Plus. It's a fairly thick material, cyanoacrylate, and it will not ghost on you. It holds pretty well. It holds certainly as well as the Saunders, and it will not turn the shaft white. The thing about this is, because it's an odorless, good for indoors, it's about $10 a bottle at your local craft store. Now these other two here, the MAXI-CURE and the INSTA-CURE Plus, are actually stronger adhesives, but they do have that typical kind of cyanoacrylate, super glue, crazy glue, kind of a little bit of a smell to them, although they're not all that overpowering. Now this is what I see advertised in a famous Pennsylvania based archery supply, but when I go to my local hobby shop, I find 1/2 ounce bottle available for $3 and change instead of $6. And I go to the same hobby shop, find that bottle, same price. And they don't have this recommended. But the arrow you saw with that slight frosting was made with the MAXI-CURE. And that sucker seems like it's got it on there pretty good. The one that presented much cleaner and neater looking was actually made with the INSTA-CURE. So, how good is good enough? Well, I have every confidence that each arrow I've made with the Saunders or any of these three cyanoacrylates will hold my veins on. There's bound to be a little different. And at some point in time, we may need to know, can we actually get these things to come apart if we were to need to rebuild or repair a shaft. Now here are the same veins but in a 3-inch, and I have it on an aluminum arrow. This is an Easton arrow, and here we have one of the cyanoacrylates, and go ahead and get it focused, Mr. Camera. And here's the other one, and neither one of them had any frosting or ghosting whatsoever. Now we're going to conduct an experiment. I have a couple shafts with 4 veins each. 2 veins have been prepared with prep, without prep, for 4 different adhesives. This is PGA prep using the Max. PGA prep Max, no prep with the Max. Flip over on this side. The IC Plus, no prep, no prep, IC Plus. Now, this is kind of a crude setup, but I'm in an unfinished part of the house. And we have a simple bow scale tied to the exposed structure, which is why we're here. And we have this tied to a hook and to a simple clamp. And what we will do is we will clamp the vein, and then we will pull down gently until it releases, or until we max the spring or something happens. We have a boning Fletch-Tite. We're going to put that in here. Go ahead and put a screwdriver in for it, and we will pull. That yielded at 12 pounds. Let's redo the boning. Reset the scale. That yielded at 10 pounds. Let's do Saunders. I realize this wasn't opened in 06. I don't know how it's going to hold. Put it up there. Reset the scale. Didn't come off, I have to reset. That was 35 pounds when the vein slipped. So let's try that again. Again with the Saunders. Now this again was what did I tell you, 2006. Oh man. That gave it 45 pounds. Super Gold. This is with no prep to vein nor arrow. Super Gold with no prep. No, Super Gold with PGA prep. £30. Let's do another IC plus. No prep. Man, 45 pounds. Close to it. This is the IC Plus. Now this is the cyanoacrylate that did not. This is the cyanoacrylate that did not frost as much. And this is with the PGA prep. Got to reset. $35. This is a no prep Max. It's like 38, 65 pounds. $70 pounds down. Now we'll have to come down and put some real weight on it. The vein is slipping. Don't hit the camera. Well, this is what it did. It just pulled the vein apart. Let's see if we can get another grip. Alright. We're going to tighten down. We're going to go for rope now. That's some glue with an attitude. Alright. We're going to pull this back up to the top so that you know to believe me. Alright, ready? Well, can you see that? That is right at 90 pounds. And that is the vein.